Greetings, this is Bwana from Bwana.tv. Today is iOS 4 day for the iPhone stuffs. Yeah, for the iPhone, iPod Touch. And a lot of people have been going nuts because this is a highly anticipated firmware update for the iPhone. It's going to have a lot of cool stuff. And I want to give you guys a quick overview of my first impressions. This is not by any means going to be a full review. It's going to be quick impressions. I've been using it for about probably an hour and a half total, on and off all day. And I'm going to give you my impressions. So let's go ahead and launch it, and you'll notice right off the bat that I have a background image. Now, this brings back memories, because when I jailbroke my iPhone, I had a background image on my home screen, and people were like, how in the world did you do that? I want to do that on my iPhone. And it required a jailbreak, but now Apple has been gracious enough to do that, to include that by default. Now, it's easy to configure. You just go to settings, and there's a wallpaper settings here. And it's kind of cool how they broke it out. They have two different icons, one denoting the lock screen on the left and one denoting the home screen on the right. So if you want to change the wallpaper for one or even both, you can do it very, very easily. So I was impressed. And they were nice enough to include new sets of wallpaper. So you can tap on these and see the preview of what's actually happening there. I can set my background to a rose. And I just got a notification of Justin.tv. Somebody just got free advertising. And I can do set home screen. And once I do that, if I go back to my home screen, voila, I've got a rose, a nice pretty flower in the background. But I'm not going to keep that because I'm a man. I need a manly background. I need blue bubbles. So let's set. Oops, I did cancel, didn't I? Set home screen. Oh, I did set both. I don't want to set both. Let's see. Well, I'll do that later. Anyway, so that's how you set the background of your stuffs. Now, one of the things that I was begging for, I just absolutely had to have, was background music, especially with Pandora. Now, I'm not going to knock the iPod app because the iPod app is top notch. It's a great app. But Pandora just rules. Yeah, so I can launch Pandora. This is the main reason why I'm happy, and I can play some jazz. This is my Cannonball Adderley playlist, and I can exit the app, and oh, it keeps on playing, man. Look at that. Oh, and I can keep on doing other things. I can go into the browser and do other stuffs while I'm listening to Pandora. Oh yeah, this is the good stuff right here. I mean, I've been waiting for this since like the first generation iPhone. A lot of people don't really make too much of a big deal out of this. They go, well, you should have had that from the beginning. Yeah, true, but now I have it, and now I'm happy. So if you double tap the home button, you'll be presented with the multitasking feature of iOS 4, which has been highly touted, and a lot of people like it. But the cool thing is that they put audio controls on apps like this, so I can swipe it to the left, and oh, look, I can control Pandora. I can pause it. I can play it. I can even go to the next track on Pandora. Very, 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 very cool. So while I'm here, let's talk about the multitasking. This is the multitasking feature of iOS 4. If you double tap the home screen, you can switch between apps. It gives you a nice little animation. I don't know if you saw that. Let me get back in the window here. And it's a nice little swoop animation that you can use to go back and forth between apps. Now, if you're out on the go, it's pretty cool to have the camera app already loaded into memory because it loads pretty fast. And I gotta say, they really improved the camera app. I mean, this thing, the shutter speed on it, I don't know if it was a software thing, but now when you take a picture, let me put something here like my hand. You take a picture of something, it's like, it's fast. It's like freaking fast. I mean, that's a small little improvement that I really, really like. So I can go back and go to Safari, and it swoops around. I can go back, and I want to listen to my Pandora again. Oops, I thumbs up that by accident. Start it back up. Go to clock if I want to. So this is cool stuff. So that's the multitasking feature in a nutshell. most apps have to support that in order for you to utilize some of the advanced features like Pandora had an update today, so on and so forth. So it's pretty cool. One other thing I want to briefly discuss, and like I said, this is going to be a brief video, is the orientation lock. Now, I like to read news and use my iPhone while I'm laying down or in the bed or something. And I used to get frustrated because it used to always switch orientation. Now they have this orientation lock here. If you hit that, it will stay in portrait. So I can go to a web page or something, and I can flip it to my heart's content. Shake, 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 shake. Come on, come on. And it won't move. So that's a very, very cool feature, especially if you surf in the bed like I do. And you can turn it off simply by going back in here and doing that. A bunch of other little features that I'm not going to discuss, but overall it feels snappier. And you know, it's just cool overall. Now let's get into stuff that I was not happy about. And I mean, I wasn't happy. No. Was I happy? Bwana, were you happy? No, man, I was not happy. Why weren't you happy? Well, let's talk about this thing called folders. I was like all geeked up, ready to create folders for all my games, and I was ready to create folders for all my utilities and create folders for all my social apps. And I must have missed something during the keynote, because I missed the part where they said it's limited to 12 apps. I was like, what? What? I couldn't believe that it was limited to 12 apps. So now I'm limited. Let's first talk about what folders do. Basically, you can drag and drop apps on top of each other. Let's go ahead and do it. And then you can create a folder. You call this one navigation because it has maps. They kind of take the category from one of the apps and they put a default name there. And then you can accept that, and then it'll create a folder there called navigation. And if you go to that folder, you'll have easy app access. So it's very easy to use. I gotta say, they did a good job of doing that. So let me move those out of there, get rid of this because that's a bogus folder. But I was very upset because I wanted to put all of my games in one folder. Instead, I had to compromise. So I was like, oh man, because what happened, I posted this on Twitter, is that I had like 5 game folders. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to find things by folder. I'm going to have to rely on Spotlight. And, you know, when I think about folders, I think about organizing my apps so that I can get to them. And the main purpose, it seems like the main benefit of this is to save screen real estate. So you can get a whole bunch of apps per page now. But as far as reaching things intuitively, it's not that great. Because think about it. On your desktop, you create a documents folder. You have subfolders. You have things inside of that. And most times, it's more than 12 things. And I have a lot of games. I have a lot of social apps. And I have a lot of utilities. So I ended up with like 5 or 6 of those folders. I've rethunk how to do my folders. I actually did app cleanup. And I removed some folders. Or removed some apps that I didn't use. And I even have a folder here called old games. Like games that I don't hardly play anymore. It just breaks my whole entire workflow, and I was very, very, very surprised by Apple's limitation there. They could have easily put more than 12 apps there. But to me, that's my only complaint, and that's not a huge deal. It's just I'm not going to get the full benefit out of the Folders app. All right, guys. So, like I said, this thing is snappier than iPhone OS 3. It's a little bit faster. It's got some nifty features with wallpapers. The multitasking stuff is cool, and like I said, I mean the main thing is come on, Pandora running in the background is to me something I've just been waiting on that for so long, and it finally came. So I was very, very happy about that. All right, guys, this is Bwana from Bwana.tv. A very, very quick overview of iOS 4. Not a whole lot else to say about it. First impressions. I'm going to be tweaking, playing with it some more. Probably do a much more in-depth analysis of things, and maybe post a blog post or maybe do another video. I don't know, but this is after like an hour and a half, 2 hours of use, and I gotta say, it's a pretty substantial upgrade. And I think we're gonna see a lot more of the new features and a lot more of the new things once developers take advantage of all the new developer APIs that Apple provided. As of now, we don't see a whole lot of new stuff in terms of app usage because developers really haven't updated their apps yet. But UI, user interface, bells and whistles, very, very cool stuff. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you next time.